Oh, hello there. Well, after the little diorama builds and some tank builds, it's time to get on. Well, it's time to get back onto some other builds, namely some aircraft, albeit rather a small one. It's another little tiny tot, but the ones after this are going to be a little bit bigger, I think. But this one's the Revell EUROFIGHTER Typhoon, the 1/144th scale. So it is a small aircraft, as you can see, small model rather. In real life it's a bit bigger, obviously. Slightly unorthodox way I've gone about it, probably. I've given it a whole, basically it's more or less been put together, just getting the undercarriage on. I've painted up the wheels. It goes together pretty quickly, but don't let that fool you, because once you get into the build, apparently what I've been looking at other people who've made this, other people's builds, is quite deceptive. There's a lot of armament to go on it. That takes, and there's a lot of decals, and painting it right for such a small scale is quite difficult. So, I mean, well, if you look at the Revell's photocopy there, I mean, it looks like a larger kit there, but that's the actual kit. So I think these smaller kits really are a challenge, in the sense that you've got to really focus on them to make them convincing. They're not just like some little, you know, just a little toy, a little plastic toy, which they're not. You know, it's a model. The kit went together superbly. I mean, the detailing is superb. Such a small kit. It might be a bit difficult to see on here because of the black base paint I've given it, but the black base paint is very thin coats. Otherwise I would fill in the panel lines on all the other little detail lines, which I don't want to do. But it is quite a detailed kit for the size. Yeah, the parts all locked into place perfectly. The only part I had a little bit of trouble with was the crew compartment, the cockpit. It is slightly over to one side. I could not make that fit in for some reason. I tried all sorts, it would not fit in correctly. But it's in as well as I could get it. I've also done some detailing into the there's a few bits of detailing on the pilot's console, which I've got to redo, because all the jigging about trying to get it to fit, I took some of the paint off, so I'm going to have to repaint little bits I did take off, which is not too difficult as I get in there. There's going to have to be some filling there, because, like I say, this part just did not seem to fit well. So there's a seam line there underneath the fuselage where the ejection seat, the pilot seat, seemed to push it apart a little. I don't know. The rest of it's fine, absolutely no problem at all. Wings on, everything. And the undercarriage, tiny though they are, I mean, there's my nail, look. Sorry, there's my nail there. They were so tiny, but they're actually quite easy to get on. I had less problems getting those on than I did on a lot of 172 kits that I've done. So, as for the painting, I thought I'd just try it this way with the black. Then I've added a darker grey on this. These are just little test beds, but I've added a darker grey on there. Then I will add the lighter, the Typhoon grey on. I mean, it's similar to this one here. I can do a little bit now to show you. There's a tiny bit of grey in there. Quite thick, this grey. So if we just, so along there again, just basically along that part. I mean, this paint's probably too thin just for this demo. It's a little bit too thin, but when that's dry, yeah, that's too thin, that paint. But but that colour is more to the exact the Typhoons, the Eurofighters proper colour. It's light, very light grey when it's done. But I shall probably wipe this off. I might even leave it on. We need a bit of a wider brush to do this so you don't get the brush marks, but I can soon paint over that anyway with other thin layers. But so this is where we are with this little number at the moment. I do want to do a good job on this. Like I say, these little kits, they are challenging, at least to me anyway. So I'm going to try and do a good little, try to do a good job on it. At least have a convincing model out of it when it's finished. And that's he says. Got on that. I think that's a hair there. Yep. Take that hair off. So back on the builds. Back on the builds with the aircraft now. And knowing me, I'll probably go off at a tangent and start something else as well. But I don't really want to rush this one, so I'm going to take some time on it. And I'll probably have to take some time on it because looking at the instructions, that's that one. Well, the ordnance, if you look at all the, there is a heck of a lot of ordnance on this kit. I mean, there's one of the little sprues there. These are all the parts that have got to go on, and they are really tiny. They're very tiny. So, and they've all got a heck of a lot of decals. That's the on the wall here. If we look up, if I can see that there. Over on the wall here, I've got the Royal Air Force, the RAF Coningsby Eurofighter Typhoon version, which is the one I'm going to do. I guess because I'm British. If I was German, I'd probably do the Luftwaffe version. But they're both good versions. But I should go for the Coningsby one. But there are lots of little decals to go on this. Lots of tiny ones. So I'm going to have to get my microscope out, my magnifying glass to see where they will go. But yeah, so this is the little interceptor that going to have me pulling my hair out at some stages, no doubt, to get a good result from it. But I think it's going to be an enjoyable little build anyway. I'm going to leave the canopy off this one until the very last, because I don't seem to have much luck with canopies. I get clumsy and end up doing something to them, and I really don't want to do it to this one. Because I've just shelled out for a spare canopy for the Stuka model that I'm working on at the moment. That should have been finished now. Well, it is virtually finished now, but the canopy split, so I've had to send off for another one from one of those replacement companies, Squadron or something. It's not come yet. So a vacuum form one. Once that's on, that's the Stuka done. But anyway, I'm waffling, but I don't want to end up damaging the canopy this, so that's going to go on last of all. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you all in the next video. Bye for now.